You're listening to the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
Hello, I'm Sabrina Carpenter.
I'm Dasha.
Hey, I'm Billie Eilish.
What's up, guys? I'm Camila Cabello.
Hey, this is Tate McRae.
I love this station.
I love this station.
You're listening to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. On the Oracle Talk Radio Network. Broadcasting live in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia.
If it's unexplainable, we're talking about it.
Whether you're a believer or a skeptic,
we cover everything where the unknown becomes the known.
And now, here are your hosts, Jenny Nicasio and Tom Callway.
Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's episode of Chasing Prophecy, where we discuss anything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio, along with my co-host, Tom Callway.
Hello.
On Oracle Talk Radio Network. Oh, guys. Oh, I'm so glad you're here with us because we got an exciting show lined up. And tonight we're diving into the mysterious and open mind-boggling world of UFOs with a very special guest, William G. Weber. But first, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. We're broadcasting on many platforms, including, what is that one?
YouTube,
iHeartRadio, YouTube, Facebook,
iHeartRadio, yep, Twitch, Rumble, all of them.
Yeah, we're on all of them. So grab your favorite drink, guys, and settle in, and let's get ready to challenge everything with me and Tom. And you won't want to miss this one because let me get you started with this week about all this weird, the December 3rd prophecy from that guy who had invented this AI computer for the stock market. And apparently everything came true, and even down to the election with Donald Trump and Joe Rogan's interview. And to tell you the truth, I think there's something really going on because, let me tell you before, let me just take a sip of this. I have a couple YouTube videos shorts, but tonight's guest, he used to be a former state director for MUFON in Delaware.
Yes.
With over 26 years of experience investigating more than 100 cases, from strange lights to those potential abductions. And here's the kicker. He's also an electrical engineer. We could have used that in 3 U.S. patents. That is amazing. But before that, I just want to show these YouTube. What do you think of those? What do you think's going on with those? He's going to be on soon.
He'll be on shortly. Absolutely.
I want to check and see if he's having an issue because I think he's new to StreamYard. So, but I just want to make sure he's not having any issues. Let me see. There are some messages on here. He might be, let's see. We'll do. Okay. No, he's okay. What is my cell phone number? Okay. If he's having,
give it out on air. We'll turn it into a lively meeting then.
Yeah, seriously. We don't want to do. Well, you guys can call. I don't care. You can have my cell phone. Call me. I don't care. I'm always up to some deep conversation as long as you don't abuse it and call me in the middle of the night. And get weird.
Not the middle.
Breathing heavy. You're like a dog.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that would be something else.
Yeah,
that would be something else entirely, though. But the videos that you sent me, right? The videos that we took a look at. This guy who apparently invented this thing, right? Evidently, that same mechanism predicted the tsunami in 2004, right?
Yeah.
So, or was it 2003? I don't know. But the early 2000 tsunami that devastated the Asian islands and Southeast Asia and all of that. But it apparently had some truth to it. That's the only reason people picked it up, right? That's the only reason picked it up. If this guy was one of those stupid TikTok ones that I'm from the year, I traveled back in time from the year 2050, and this is what's going to happen. nobody would believe it because those guys come and go. They're a dime a dozen. This guy apparently, had made some rather outlandish claims that had sort of come true in the beginning. So, when he predicted this one about UAPs shooting each other, trying to attack us, the videos that you had on YouTube that you sent me that will play here that were interesting were we didn't know if they were extraterrestrial UAPs or if they were like man-made UAPs, from other countries. So it's just a different way of thinking about the term UAP, because if it's in the air and you don't know what it is, technically it is a UFO, right? If you just have to not know what it is, technically. So, yeah, so it was a very interesting, thing there, but also in New Jersey, when you had these small car-sized, right? They were calling them car-sized drones. That was really
I
odd
think
as
that's
well.
him. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. Okay.
Okay. But for anyone who like hasn't like seen anything in Jersey, right? There is these small, perfectly flying small car-sized drones that were, really bothering people, and they weren't just right away, right? They weren't just really quick and they were gone. You have people talking about how they were in the air for hours. People woke up at 2 a.m. and they were there, and they watched them all the way till 4 a.m., till 5 a.m. Even you had people who woke up, went to sleep, woke back up again, and they were up there in the sky. So it was really, really odd. And the YouTube videos get into, people actually talking on camera, and this is a major news outlet. It's like the local news of Delaware. So it's not like just somebody, spouting off at the mouth. It was very, very interesting. And one thing that we can't rule out is, as much as I want to say, hey, it's aliens, hey, it's from another planet, it's interdimensional, extraplanetary, you name it, depending on what side of the fence you fall on. One thing that's very, underrated that we don't think about a lot is what if this is reproduced technology, re-engineered aircraft that we found from advanced civilizations that we're building ourselves. And one of the theories out there is that these are actually Chinese. And hey, Joe, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Always back on. Tell the boss you're going to crack open a cold one and listen to us. So one of the things is that the Chinese retro engineered these drones. They're flying in symmetrical patterns, but that, whether it's aliens or not, that should alarm you, America. That should alarm you that a foreign government has the capacity to spy, because let's be honest, that's what they were doing. Spy on your nuclear facilities, on your really secret government areas, your nuclear test sites, your military encampments, not just here, but in London, all over the world. So that's something that's very odd. Yeah, Joe, good for you having an off night, man. Absolutely. That's awesome. Good job, man. But so one thing that, we have to really think about is, does it make it better or worse, America? Does it make it better or worse that this is actually, a human made, but from another country? I don't think it makes it better. I'll tell you that right now. I told this to Jenny when she hops back on. She can clarify this. I mentioned this to Jenny. Another government flying something against your will over your soil is a hostile threat. I don't care what you name it, what kind of lipstick you put on that pig. It's a hostile threat to our country's national security. This isn't the first time. Do you remember 2 years ago when there was this balloon, when this so-called weather balloon flew across the Pacific Ocean, all the way through southern Canada, northern United States, all the way across, and it got all the way over America, got all the way over to North Carolina before we got this down. It might have been Georgia. I think it was North Carolina, though. It got all the way over there before anybody did anything about it. And it didn't come from the east over. It came from the west over here. I don't like that. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it smells. I don't like that even a little bit. You understand? I hate the fact that you're okay with somebody flying something over our country. What is that about? Are they getting ready Are they getting ready to try whatever they're trying to do before a certain individual takes office in January? Are they waiting? Are they part of some, secret hush hush wink wink deal? Are they us saying it's Chinese? Which that is even worse to me, because once you start hiding and manipulating knowledge, that's a slippery slope towards government controlled media. And that's not what we stand for. That's what we got away from. That's absolutely nothing that we want to do here in America at all. At all. We fought wars over this. Many, many brave men and women have died over that. Come out, tell us what it is. If it's not extraplanetary and somebody has, more advanced technology than us, tell us. Don't be secretive. Don't be taking all these money and budget items out and putting them into your budget, right? And trying to do these secretive projects. Come out, tell us we're behind. We need money to catch up. This isn't the first time. We're not stupid enough to think America was always the greatest and we're the great. You have to earn the title greatest. We won the Cold War. Without our intervention in World War II, Europe is lost. And that's a whole continent. That's not one country. We have to earn the title of greatest. Don't rest on your laurels. If it's a technology from somewhere else that is more advanced than us, but it's still human made, let us know. Let us know how we can help. Stop this secrecy bullshit. Honestly, I'm tired of it. Stop all of it. You know why you're not attracting the best and brightest from MIT? Because they don't want secrecy. People are about their phones. The younger, smarter doctors coming out. Social media is here. They want to be able to talk about their cool stuff. They're not going to sign NDAs anymore. You're not getting the best and brightest. And guess what? The people you had working in Boeing, the people you're working at Northrop, the people that you had working at BlackRock. The thing about that is that those people who are the geniuses who are working in those companies are getting older now, America. They're getting older. You need to replace them. Otherwise, that's going to fall down. You need to have that cohabitation, that cooperation between the both. Terry, what's going on? Thinking about the drones is that the government can't seem to be able to track them. Where are they coming from and where do they go? Terry, absolutely, man. That's a great point. I want to make sure that, you get your point across. That's a great point. We can't seem to track them, but we're lying. We seem to be lying about our ineptitude or our inability to. Why are we doing that, Terry? I don't like that even a little bit. If you don't know, then we need to find out. It's okay to be honest. It's okay to ask for help from the American public, right? Remember all the stories about how the country banded together, not just from the soldiers, but people that, were over here working in the industrial factories to help make bullets and help process food to help us win a war. You were honest with them back then. Be honest with it now. If this is extraterrestrial and you don't know if you would be able to have the might to go against them, what's the harm in telling us? It's a controlment of knowledge. That's what it is, Terry. That's exactly what it is, Terry. It's controlling the knowledge. If I have the knowledge, if I have the knowledge, I can manipulate it into a way that makes me look the best. It's what they've done for a while. It's what they'll continue to do. You think they do? I think they do, but the public is not in the loop. Absolutely, Terry. We're not. And oftentimes we're looked at as a burden to the government rather than what makes up the government, right? We are the governing body. But to them, we just look like a bunch of people who, we're the burden on them. That's what it seems like to them. That, we don't have to tell them. They're second-rate citizens. They're second-rate this. They're second-rate that. We don't have to tell them anything. We're going to keep this information. We're going to keep these drones flying. We're going to keep that, and then we won't tell anybody anything. So, you're exactly right, Terry. They don't want to keep us in the loop. They don't want to tell us jack shit. They would lie to us, and they have lied to us. That's proven. Even as recently as the whistleblower, the UAP whistleblower testimony, they lied to us there. Of course they did. No, there is no crash retrieval program. We haven't found anything like that. There is absolutely none of that. A little over 1 year later, when you have Lou Elizondo and all of them coming forth and saying, actually, I do know that there is one. and a simple 15 months later, they retracted everything. I just think it's getting tired, and it's something that the population isn't going to go for, and this is a little theory that I have, Terry. And actually, I'll get on that in a little bit. I see that Bill Weber
I'm-
is
yeah,
joining us.
I'm gonna hang up, okay, Bill, and I'm gonna introduce you. Okay. You had a little hard time doing it. Okay.
All good.
So-
I just went on an cover up disclosure tirade, Jenny. Sorry
That's
about that.
good. That's good. Okay. Without further ado, I want to introduce Bill Weber, and let me fill you in. He's a former state director for MUFON in Delaware and Pennsylvania, and over 26 years of experience investigating more than 100 cases from strange lights in the sky to potential abductions. And here's the kicker: he's also electrical engineer with 3 U.S. patents we talked about a little bit earlier. He brings that scientific mindset to everything he does, including his investigations into the unknown. So tonight, we're going to explore some of Bill's groundbreaking research, dig into those jaw-dropping UFOs cases, and talk about his book, which uncovers cover-ups and reveals what might actually be out there, because we want to know. Plus, we'll open to the floor to our you guys' discussions. So without further ado, let's welcome Bill Weber to Chasing Prophecies. Good to have you here, Bill.
Thank you.
Bill, how are you doing?
Oh, very good. If I don't get blown away, we've had incredible winds over here.
Oh, yeah. We've had that yet. Last night, it was actually thundering in Pittsburgh.
Well,
we had
Oh,
like a
yeah.
I think
windstorm.
that we put our trash out last night. I think it ended up in Trenton, New Jersey.
Well,
Yeah.
I must be
Exactly.
close to you. I must be close to you, Bill, because I live right here in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and
No kidding.
trash was all across the street, everywhere, same place.
Yep. I'm over
Yeah, we
here in
have a lot of-
Downingtown, so
Downingtown. Oh, well, you are really close. You actually just beat he just beat Larissa, who was the closest one to me, which was Allentown. So
hey,
yeah, Bill. Okay, all right, great. A local, another local ufologist here in outside the Philly suburbs. So very nice to meet you, Bill.
nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
exactly. So exciting. So, Bill,
Yes,
first off, you have 26 experience in MUFON.
26
That's a lot.
years of happiness. Yes. yes.
And you've seen a wide variety of cases. Before we get into all this weird stuff that's happening, I want to know, what was the most compelling, unexplained case you've ever investigated?
Unexplained. Well, a possible abduction that took place in Bucks County.
Oh,
Yeah. A young girl and her boyfriend were there. They, I guess, they went to Washington Crossing State Park there,
mm-hmm.
and they were in the park. And as they were coming into the park, they observed a disc over the water, over the Delaware, and so the boyfriend got a little nervous and such, and decided to want to leave. So they left, but she felt compelled to come back, so she did by herself. And while she was there, excuse me, she noticed it was late, and she's there smoking a cigarette and stuff, and she noticed lights coming behind her car, and 3 individuals walked up to her car. 2 got in the back seat, 1 in the front seat, and he reached over and took her cigarette and put it out in the ashtray, and she glanced over to the left, and then there was a field there where the craft that was over the water now was in the field, and this creature came up to her, and she described it as an insectoid.
What?
Insectoid, where it looks like you and me from the neck down, but
Looks like an
face of a praying mantis.
Yeah.
And it
Wow.
grabbed her arm, and the only thing she remembers then is when she got back to the car, that the engine was cold. She was back in her car. She had lost time, and she didn't remember anything else. So that was I don't want to go into too much detail because it's pretty personal. But I do have her on tape, and I believe I wanted to put her in front of Dr. David Jacobs because he was involved in regression hypnosis, and she didn't want any part of it. She didn't want to know.
Wow. Yeah, I can
It's
understand.
terrifying.
Wow.
I can totally see that. I've always been Bill, fascinated with the insectoids, the mantids and things like that, but I haven't heard of one that close to home. That's incredible.
Yeah. It bothered her quite a bit, but
I
again,
imagine, yeah.
And she feels like they're watching her. Okay, she's not paranoid or something, but she doesn't fear it. Okay.
Yeah.
They did some medical stuff on her, and that's as far as I'm going to go on that.
Well, I can imagine what they did. I mean, I was a MUFON field investigator, and I remember reading all that stuff about abductions and what they did to women. And it's rather scary to think that your body is something creature can come into your bedroom and abduct you. And I do believe these women. I do believe that they were, there parts of them were taken, their eggs, and who knows what else. I do agree. Hi, Nicole.
Hey,
yeah,
Nicole.
and it's scary, Bill, because you have a lot of skeptics, but then you have what's going on right now. There's so much in the news and about the disclosure and about the government hearings, and you've been in this field for so long. What do you think? Why do you think they're holding back? Why do you think that they're not telling us the truth? Do they think we're like children and we can't handle the truth?
Yeah, like that one movie. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, good men.
But in my dealings with people, with witnesses, and to the conferences and stuff that I've been involved in, I've been on several.
Hey, Best Damn Podcast. Sorry about that, Bill.
What happened?
No. Best Damn Podcast. I visited them last night, and they're sharing the love again tonight. Thank you so much, guys.
They're just we have the chat. We have chat open. You can probably see the chat too. We try to put some of the messages up on the so you can see them
so
too.
You can see the screen too. Sorry about that, but continue.
There's
Bill.
questions too.
Okay, good. We'll keep it clean.
No, you don't have to keep it clean. We don't have anybody telling us what to do.
Right. But my belief is that a lot of people want to know the truth, and and I guess I kind of backed out of MUFON. Like I was responsible for the 67 counties in Pennsylvania plus all of Delaware, and it was just getting stupid. So I was running a continuing education session down in Delaware where people were coming in because they want to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And when I went down to Delaware, there was only 2 people there, myself and another gentleman, and I grew that up to 40 people. And more were coming in, but then we just parted company, MUFON and myself. So, but it took me a year and a half to write this book, and the reason being is I'm sick of the denials and so on and so forth by the government. Now, my feeling is twofold, okay? Number one, we are so full of ourselves here on this earth that we think there's nobody out there smarter than us, okay? And the second thing is the religious aspect, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does come into play.
I don't get involved in those discussions. My feeling is to that, and how I address that is on a clear night, if you can see one in the greater Philadelphia area, okay, with all the light pollution and clouds and whatever.
Yeah.
If you look up at the sky, you see all of these stars up there, okay? And the sampling of stars that we see is just a very little tip of our galaxy. We're on one of those little spirals. Excuse me. So now, if you can, take yourself off of this planet and go back out into space, looking at our solar system, right? And you'll see this big yellow star there, because the sun is a star. And we got all of these rocks going around that we just happen to be on one of them. Now, With that being said, and you look up at that sky at all of those stars, and you tell me we're the only intelligent life out there, I doubt that seriously. But people can't handle it. Look what happened with that radio report way back when people are jumping out of windows and stuff because the Martians in Jersey. Okay.
Yeah.
The Martians can have Jersey as far as I'm concerned, but I'm born and raised in Jersey, so you know.
Yeah.
But no, I think that would cause panic, number one. Number two, the other thing too is we don't want to admit to the fact that perhaps we are using technology that we've gleaned from crash recoveries, okay? And we don't want to open up our kimono and tell our enemies what technology we have. But then again, we don't have... we're not the only ones that they could have landed in China, they could have landed in Russia, God knows where. So we don't have a monopoly on the EBEs, okay?
No.
Mhm.
They could be sharing their technology with them. But I think, and this is my only thing, is because we see a lot of activities around our nuclear facilities, our nuclear power stations, around military bases with nuclear and such, that if we start playing around with nuclear, they'll be here. I think they don't take too kindly to that.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm repeating a movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still, but in that movie, apparently, they came and visited, and they basically said, look, you guys want to kill yourselves, knock yourself out, but if you start messing around with higher technologies and stuff, then we're going to step in and just vaporize you.
Yeah. I can, I've heard that before, that, they're there, to, in a sense, they're there to guide us, to help us, enlighten, if we were to take the metaphysical way, to enlighten us. But once we start, moving into the danger end, right, and being more dangerous with the planet, because we like to think we're the only things on here, that's when they might, step in and intervene.
Well,
It's fascinating theory.
Again, look with the Space Force. Why did they start that? To protect us from us?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Best damn podcast with a question here. What if they are as curious about us as we are about them? Did you get any inkling about that when you were a state director?
In talking with several witnesses, and I believe that they, if you go back to the early readings of Zachariah Sitchin, I don't know if you know who he is, where he said that in the very beginnings, and again, this touches base on the religious aspect that I'm kind of sort of like, but apparently we came from that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill, I'm starting to think that, because I don't know who I was listening to, but I don't know if it was one of those podcasts. They were saying that the problem is with the religion is because they believe that these UAPs or UFOs or alien creatures are what created us. And that's why it's causing a lot of issues with religious leaders.
Right. Well, I believe in God, okay, and I'm I'm Catholic. I'm married to a very religious Sicilian girl, so you see, I got the cross and the horns and all of that here.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm like that too, Bill.
Yeah.
I'm torn because I got into a lot of discussions. I believe in people when we get into creation and everything. And my view on this is, God created man in his image. What if he created other beings that he wasn't truly happy with, and instead of destroying them, what if he stuck them somewhere else in the universe?
Right, or the story repeats itself from planet to planet to planet.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. What's up, Squatch man? Good to see you.
And to answer that one question, why are they here? Well, they've taken us if you think about where we came from the swamp, and then became gorillas and
Yeah.
so on and so forth, Neanderthals and so on. So we could be an experiment, okay?
Yeah.
And they're the ones that got it started, and they just want to see how far we're going, okay? So they're
Most
keeping
definitely.
tabs on us to see where we're going. And that's why they're getting a little concerned now about nuclear power.
Yeah,
Because they're
because we're
worried.
starting to reach the killing all of ourselves on accident stage.
Well,
You know
they
what I
don't
mean?
care about us killing ourselves. I think they're more concerned about
Killing the
outside of
planet.
that. Right,
Yeah.
killing them. It's like giving a baby a switchblade to play with. You know, they've got to watch over us.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, Terry, you know, either life is everywhere or nowhere, and both are equally terrifying. And you're
Mhm.
right there, Terry. And you know, that is true. You know, there are verses in the Bible that refer to extraterrestrial life.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, and you know, plus, you know, look, I don't want to go there, but like the Renaissance paintings, you know, paintings of
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
Virgin Mary, the paintings of Jesus, you know, paintings of the old biblical times of you know, flying saucers and things like that. It's really everywhere, and even came down to the point of I believe the chief astronomer of the of you know, the Vatican, right, for the Pope.
Right,
Even he said you can believe in aliens and believe in God.
Yeah.
You don't have to pick one or the other. And
right.
this was back in 2008, which this might seem like a ton, but it's not that long ago, you know, comparative to everything. Where, you know, he said if you believe in a creator, you can believe in UFOs because that just and aliens because that means he created them as well. It doesn't
Correct.
mean you have to, you know, pick one or the other.
Correct.
Mhm.
And it's alleged too that the Star of Bethlehem wasn't a star.
That's been
Yeah.
alleged. That's been yes, you're exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly
So
right.
so yeah. So I guess this book took me about a year and a half to write. It covers
Okay.
some cases that I was involved with directly. My co-author is Major George Filer. He's retired U.S. Air Force, and he was stationed at McGuire Air Force Base.
Okay.
And there's a chapter in the book about the incident that occurred at Fort Dix McGuire. And I guess that, when was that? I'm trying to think. Maybe 78, okay? Where apparently there's a lot of UFO activities over the base. So they were a little bit on alert. And for whatever reason, there was a EBE that was on the base.
Okay.
And
Oh, wow.
these MPs were going through their
Mhm.
their duties, and their headlights were shining on a creature that ran in front of them. So they stopped.
Oh, a creature, not a craft.
No, not a craft, a creature.
Oh,
So
Wow.
they stopped, and one of the MPs got out of the Jeep and called out, "Halt!" You know,
yeah.
and the thing went, like, "No, I'm not going to halt." Okay, it kept going.
Yeah.
So then he proceeded to unload his clip into him,
Jesus.
and then the creature took off and ran, and he ran. Now he ran, over to McGuire Air Force Base. Now, what separates McGuire Air Force Base from Fort Dix is a chain link fence. Okay, one's on one side, one's on the other.
Okay.
So he ran over to McGuire, and he passed away. He died on a runway out at McGuire.
How did he die?
They shot him.
They shot him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the MP shot at the alien. I don't know how many shots he put into him. And he also shot up straight because there was a craft above him. And then he
okay.
went back into the Jeep. I guess they were both in shock because later on he reported that he has missed some time too.
Yeah.
Okay. But so all of this activity was going on, and this creature, the alien, ran over to McGuire and passed away on a runway by Gate 5. Now, because the Jersey State Police were involved too, because of shots fired. Okay, so they came and they wouldn't let him on the base. because they wanted to get the base people taken care of. So all of this was going on. Meanwhile, George Filer, who was, for all intents and purposes, he was the deputy director of the 21st Air Force Intelligence. So his job is to tell his boss, what goes on the day before, or so on and so forth, keep him appraised of base activities. So he didn't know, because he's going to work that one morning. It's 4:00 in the morning. He looks over on the runway and he sees all of these red lights, blue lights, and all these other lights going on. He didn't know what was going on. He eventually went in, and somebody said to him, he says, "What's going on?" And he says, "Well, there was an alien shot over at Dick's, and he died over here at the runway." And he says, "An alien, like what, a Mexican or something?" He said, "No, no." He says, "You're kidding, you know?" So basically, I don't know how it's all documented in the book. But an aircraft came out from Wright Pat Air Force Base in Dayton. And there were people with coveralls and such on, no insignias, okay, that then went, because they had eventually, I'm ahead of myself. They had the state trooper and one of the MPs guarding this body that was on the ground, okay?
Yeah.
And they said the smell of ammonia was unbelievable. Now let's fast forward. Now the airplane comes in, and these guys come over, and they had like a wooden coffin or something, and they sprayed this thing down or covered them and put them in the coffin, and then put it back on the Jeep and went back to the plane, put that into another coffin, a steel coffin, put it on the plane, and then took off, went right back to Wright Pat. Now, the next day, there was some people came in from Washington, D.C. Now, photographs were taken, and they had radar and all of this going on, but George couldn't even see the photographs. Yet he was a deputy director of intelligence. They wouldn't show him.
Wow, that just shows you how high up it goes. And this is a full circle moment, Bill, because last month, a countdown to Halloween, myself and two other, I wish if Ian and Tyler are on, chime in. We did 50 states and 50 UFO stories. And for Jersey, that was the story we picked. And so it's just crazy, full circle, talking to somebody who actually, knew somebody in there. It's just a full circle moment. And Michael Anthony took the words right out of my mouth with the National UFO Reporting Center. And Peter Davenport, have you worked with him like Michael has asked? And what do you think? Is it a good, healthy competition for MUFON? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's there was a bunch of organizations out there, and I go into this in my book, okay? You had, after the crash in 1947 in Roswell, all right, that everybody says, oh, it was a weather balloon, right? That was the first Army cover-up, right? So then all of the material that was uncovered was taken out to Kansas, and then it was under the control of Phil Corso, who was a colonel. Okay. And so he gathered all of this material. Some of it looked like spaghetti. Some of it looked like just pieces of metal. Some of it looked like a little flashlight. And they found little substrates with little black things on it, round things, and so on. So he took all of these things under his control. But now, and Jeannie can tell you in MUFON that if we do an investigation, that we can file this silly thing called a FOIA.
Yeah.
Freedom of Information Act. So we can, because he had all this material in his control, we could send a FOIA to him to try to get and gather information like, what was it that you took? Because they're telling everybody it was a weather balloon. Yeah. So rather than do that, he sent it out to private industry, okay? And then it's protected under company trademark. So the metal that they uncovered out there, that went to Battelle in Ohio. The spaghetti wire and stuff, that went to Corning, New York. Okay. The little black round things they found and everything, that went to AT&T Bell Labs.
Yep.
Okay. The little black things that they found, the like little rectangles, that went to Texas Instruments. Okay. So think about now, 1947, this thing came out. 1947, Bell Labs, AT&T came out with the transistor.
Yeah.
Transistors, fiber optics. I'm sure that was the
Fiber
spaghetti.
optics came later. Fiber optics came in. Well, fiber optics, according that came out in 61.
Yeah. Yep. But there's a long-standing rumor that was also
Absolutely.
yeah.
And laser as well.
Laser, yeah, lasers. Yep.
Laser as well. So all of that stuff that was recovered, was hidden and protected under that. Now, just think about, and I have a chapter on UFOs and technology in my book, okay? Where we were before, where like you're doing calculations with a computer, and that computer's using stepper switches and electromechanical relays and so on and so forth. And it's slow as all get out, right?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden now, and now somebody decides, well, let's speed this up. We'll incorporate vacuum tubes into this, okay? Vacuum tubes are the things you turn on your TV and you got to wait 10 minutes for the tubes to warm up, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. I remember those.
Yeah, so they incorporate that. Okay, so that sped up the calculations a little faster, all right? But now, since the advent of the transistor, okay, they incorporate the transistor into these designs, because some of these early computers, like the ENIAC computer from Sperry, and then the Sperry UNIVAC computer, these things, I couldn't fit them into a 10 by 20 room.
That's true. Yeah,
and they weighed
huge.
several tons, okay?
Yeah.
And they weren't that fast, okay?
No.
So technology moved on, like the simple little bipolar transistor came up. Now they came out with the FET transistor, CMOS transistor, and all these other transistors, and now integrated circuits, okay? And everything happened by doing that. Size came down, weight came down. Just as a thought, you have more power in your cell phone than the computer power they have on the Apollo mission.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Let me just get to Nicole's question before we get back on this. Yes. TikTok's been going on about a space battle. Is that fiction? Have you heard of any space battles going on or anything like that?
Yeah, I heard of two of them. Actually, I talk about them in my book. One of the space battles occurred in the year 1561 over Nuremberg, where there were battles in the sky and such. Okay, and they were documented in the Nuremberg Gazette. And then soon after that, in 1566, the same things were going on over in Bern, Switzerland, and that's documented as well. Now, just for your listeners, people have been seeing this stuff going back to the year like 216.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah.
Where they were described as shining shields in the sky. All right. Christopher Columbus had a sighting. It was following his ship. It's in his logbook. It's in his log, and he brought out people on the Santa Maria to see it. It was following the ship, and then it took off straight up.
It's fascinating.
Do you notice any patterns over all these cases? Do they all have the same pattern, or are they different patterns?
That's a good question. I don't think they don't mean to be seen, okay, but they're being seen. I think they're doing their own thing, and whatever their own thing is, because like these people that have gone to like David Jacobs for his regression hypnosis and stuff, he still doesn't really know what their agenda is. That's the million-dollar question. What is their agenda? What do they want? Now, part of the other thing too is they could be checking up on us. They could be trying to infiltrate our government. There could be race. There's from regression hypnosis sessions. There's five or six different races here. Okay, you got the small, medium, large grays. You have the reptilians, you have the insectoids, you have the Nordics, and then perhaps even Bigfoot. Okay. And to that end, people are seeing these things, and people are being abducted by these things. People believe in them, and a lot of people see MUFON at one time had this, and I think they still do. It's called the ERT, Experiencer Researcher Team, and apparently, as it was designed, that they would put abductees, or what they refer to as experiencers, in
Yeah.
touch with psychologists, psychiatrists to help them overcome this, because people are
Yeah.
running around
Very
paranoid
traumatic. Yeah, I'm sure.
for fear. But
Most definitely.
What
Did
about? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I
no,
was just gonna say, did you ever have an experience?
a
Like,
long time ago, before MUFON, okay, when we first moved here, uh, it was an anomaly, okay, and this is what got me interested in MUFON. We were laying in bed at night. My wife was facing the front windows, and I was facing her. We were chatting about the day, and she says, "My God, what was that?" And I says, "What?" And she says, "Both windows filled up with lime green color. The
mm,
light didn't come into the room, but it was outside." So I says, "Well, get out of here." She says, "No, no, no." So I got up out of bed and I looked out the window and I didn't see anything. And all of a sudden, the sky got all green again. And I looked off to the west and I saw this bright object in the sky, but it was like looking at headlights in the fog. The light was all diffused.
mm.
And I watched it go from west to east across the horizon. And I says, "Well, I didn't know what that was, but it piqued my interest. But, I didn't think anything more of it." But then I was doing a little bit of research and looking on the internet to see, and somebody else in Philadelphia had seen the same thing. Okay. And that's what piqued my interest. I said, "Who's this MUFON? What is this all about?" So I
Hmm.
looked into
Yeah.
that, you know.
See,
All
I
right.
seen a green light too, but I thought
Have
it
you
was
seen
my
it?
deceased mother. I thought maybe it was a spirit, but it was
Yeah.
green.
Wow.
Came into my
Really?
room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it entered your room.
yeah,
Ooh.
came in my
Well, I got
room.
a couple questions here that I'll get to in the chat. Do you believe
Yeah.
there's currently an arms race between the U.S. and other countries over recovered alien tech?
Well, as I said earlier, we don't have a monopoly on the aliens, okay?
No, you're right.
And we don't like to share anything.
No, we
Uh,
do not.
yeah. And if we are supporting other countries that are in conflict today, they're not getting our top of the line
No,
stuff.
not at all. So thank you for that. And then Terry, and this is an interesting one. Do you think the Greys are androids or advanced AI or some sort of hybrid? It's one thing that I heard where they're more of the worker bee, worker, you know what I mean, type of alien. What do you think about that?
I've heard of that. I have heard that, and the being that was shot and killed was not an android.
So
No,
it was a gray though.
It was a gray.
It was a gray, the almond eyes, big head. And they come in different sizes. Was it the
All
the
made
3
apart.
foot, the 5 foot, or the 7 foot version?
Again, all I saw was a sketch of it, and George Father didn't even see it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
but
that's
there were pictures
fascinating.
taken of it, but it was recovered and taken.
Okay,
Don't forget the black-eyed children too. They run around too.
they
and
are
the
around,
black-eyed
and
children.
they don't get talked about
No, they
at
don't.
all, at all.
I don't.
What are the
know.
black-eyed? I mean, I know my characters in my book, the aliens have black eyes. So there are children running around with black eyes.
Oh yeah, they just show up at your door and want to get in your house. Don't let
Yeah,
them
and
in.
you
Oh,
don't let them
jeez.
in.
Oh, that's scary.
Oh, no.
Yeah, with the invite, and some people more think that's more of like a demonic
Well, that's
thing.
the other. There's another individual within MUFON, okay, that thinks that the aliens and EVs are demons.
Oh, I know who that
And
is.
yeah,
Same word, okay.
Well,
But
you
he's
might have
no
been
longer
on.
he's no longer in MUFON.
Oh
I'm
yes, he
sure
is.
Oh, he is.
Lifetime.
Okay, so this isn't. There's another one
Yeah,
that thinks
I
that
might be
they're.
thinking of somebody else. Then never mind.
Now you're probably thinking the same person. I know Jeannie is.
Yeah, then she might know. Then yeah,
I'm sure she does.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And look, even Terry's getting in on it.
that's good.
I know who
who
that
that
is
is too. Terry, where are you from?
Terry's Delaware.
Oh, really? Well, did you ever attend my MUFON meetings in Delaware?
Yeah, answer him back, Terry. I'll put your comment up there. Let him know. yeah, so Delaware's connected to Pennsylvania, right, Bill, in terms of MUFON, or is it complete? Is it a separate state now?
Well, there's MUFONs in 50 states, okay, and each state has its own, for lack of a better word, P&L center, okay. But you know, I all the activities and things that were going on in Delaware had nothing to do with Pennsylvania, and vice versa. Okay. In fact, if there were a sighting in Pennsylvania and a sighting in Delaware, they're two separate sightings, even though they could, one just looked right across and saw it. Okay.
That's true, especially in our area, Downingtown, Westchester. I mean, we're a stone's throw from Delaware and from Maryland, honestly. You know what I mean? So, you know, within an hour, you know, we could hit all three different, you know what I mean? And in that. So I was just wondering how that worked in terms of all of that. He was the first one in with you, Terry?
I was the first on in with you.
I was the first on in with
Maybe he was the first one.
Yeah, he wrote one underneath, so I think he meant I was the first one in with you. Not sure. Elaborate on that one, Terry, if you can. But here's
Terry, are you on my Facebook group?
He might be. Nicole said she ran across blue beings when she was abducted. She has numerous stories and has wonderful videos that she's a very good member of the program, the network, and everything. She sends all her videos in. What would you say about blue beings?
No comment.
No comment? Okay.
No comment.
He said yes, he was in the groups with you.
Do I personally know you?
As soon as he and there's a little delay between the chat and the video.
If you want a link to come on and talk to him on the video, let us know.
Two Terrys from Delaware.
We talk all the time,
my friend. You forgot about me already.
I know who he is.
Okay, there you go.
I'm holding this book for you, Terry. You were supposed to show up and you never did.
Oh, come on, Terry. You can't leave him. Can't leave the man. Come on, you got to get in on there. But Terry and Nikki holding down the YouTube for us there, Jenny, watching on YouTube. So it's not a monopoly on Facebook.
No, I see some on Facebook. I checked my Facebook page.
You do have a lot. A lot of people follow Jenny.
No, I mean I have some. It's just not. It's on Facebook too.
Gotcha.
I understand.
And you know this thing is a little wonky. I will tell you that. But the latest I checked, in terms of viewers right now, we got 92 people watching.
Good.
So hello.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and you know,
and that's the whole purpose. Again,
you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Of your program, and the reason I wrote this book is to make people understand that we're not alone.
No, we're not
alone. And there's quite a few hybrids running around here. In fact, the last I talked to David Jacobs, there's a hybrid running around the Philadelphia area that he's tracking.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to ask this. How, when you said tracking, how does one decide it's a hybrid and then start to track them?
Well, by their looks, okay, by their lack of, for lack of better word, lack of common sense. They got to be trained on how to make change, and okay. And there was a researcher out there who spent a lot of time with him interviewing hybrids. Her name's Barbara Lamb. And I had presented her material at one of my continuing education sessions down in Delaware that I was running monthly down there. So we had a whole program. She's been in touch with probably 4 different hybrids. Do
they know they're hybrids? I mean, do they?
That's a good question. Yeah.
If let's say a woman was abducted and she became pregnant and she thought it was her husband's baby, but it was really an alien's baby, would the would the alien baby know that it's a hybrid, that it's part human and half, part alien?
I believe so. Yeah, because once the women get, this is what I'm no doctor, okay?
Yeah.
And this is what has been alleged to me. When the woman gets pregnant and stuff, then they'll come in and harvest the baby, okay? And they'll keep that baby for a period of time, but they want to reintroduce it back to the mother to get the human bond, okay? And then may even return it back to the mother. But okay.
But does the mother know?
Yeah.
She's going to sense that there's something different about this baby.
Yeah, because she would be abducted to be with it.
Oh, so it's like a package deal thing.
Over time.
Over time, yeah. Okay.
Over time. Like it's like the baby's over in Trenton and she's in Westchester. So you got to put them together. So how do we get her to Trenton? Pick her up and bring her over.
Go pick her up, yeah.
And then bring her back, okay?
Okay. I mean, Jenny, it's like your book come to life. I mean,
I know.
Hybrids out here. Like it's
I know. I probably got my information from an alien.
Maybe you did.
No, my son was convinced, my youngest son, that he was abducted when he was a child. So who knows?
Who knows? And Best Dan, we have a listener on our show who has a friend who was abducted and said he was never right since. He unfortunately took his life a few years later.
Man.
I'm sorry to hear that. I truly am. My heart breaks for that. It's like you said, Bill. It's a very shocking and jarring event. I can absolutely see why somebody's just never right since.
You would need professional counseling to help deal with it.
And you said MUFON has an ERP or a
ERT, Experience Researcher Team. But I've not been with MUFON for over 2 years, so I don't know what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think we should be worried with all this, these sightings, like the one that everybody's been seeing, the drones that are big as cars?
Jersey. Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, we don't know. Okay, and I'll just say this: I said it took me over 1.5 years to write this book, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did an incredible amount of research on this. Now, for every piece of research that I found or piece of information, there's an equal to or greater than amount of disinformation out there.
Yeah, I understand.
So you have to kind of sort of over time build a filter to kind of sort of filter out, now, is this real or is this, So I fondly refer to my filter as my BS to reality converter.
It's the tech that you have re-engineered from.
Yes. Because now, if I hear this story, like somebody will file a report and say, and Jeannie will know this if she was a field investigator. Somebody files a report, she gets the report, she calls the guy or the girl, and she says, I got green men running around my backyard. Okay, you got to take the data.
You do.
You do.
You got to take that data. You have to investigate it, and you got to close that within 90 days with some kind of a disposition. Okay. Now, if that's the only person that has seen green men run around her backyard, and you notice that there's 5 or 6 bottles of J&B on the side of her house, okay, you kind of sort of figure, all right, here comes the BS to reality converter. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll take the data and everything else, and the disposition is hoax.
Yeah, there was some hoax, but then there was some, I believe, that were legit. And a person from the West Virginia, he's a director, he believed that it was not real. He thought it was a house.
You're talking about
what?
Fred?
Yeah.
I know Fred very well.
Fred Salute, yeah.
Yeah.
He thought it was, him and John Ventry, they completely blew this woman off. And I've seen the videos. I've talked to her a number of times, and I still think she was legit. Because she had expensive equipment that MUFON did not have, like really good equipment and photography, like cameras and stuff. So maybe, because she believed that they were these flying, look like a helicopter, but then it would morph into something else. And they would, I seen the footage, and I saw them morph into something else, but they were convinced that it was a hoax or.
Well, what did they think it was, other than a hoax?
They just would not validate her to this day. So I don't know what they thought it was, but they just closed her down.
Because when you hear stories like that, then people won't come out and talk about them.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah,
I mean, you can still see the videos if you go on to YouTube. Her name was Allison Cruz from Murraysville.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I saw them, Bill. I saw the videos, and I saw them too because she told me where to look. And they would come in so fast, and then they would zip. I bet any money if they would go investigate that now, they would say that these are the same thing, those Tic Tacs, because they would go in, and then they would disappear. And I seen one come so close to me that my dog ran inside, and I lived like 10 minutes from her. Yeah, she ran, and she's a German Shepherd, and she's seeing this thing. I go, holy! And this is before drones were, no one had a drone.
Right.
And Bill, she's in a real hot spot over there in Chestnut Ridge.
And it just zipped out. It zipped so close. I mean, I never see anything. It just came. Oh my God! I'm running inside, and my dog ran. But I seen them.
What you have to think about now too is again paranormal.
You think it was paranormal? I don't think
it could be paranormal. Could be orbs. Could be paranormal.
No, because they came in so fast and they weren't.
I've seen pictures of, like out in Arizona, it looks like it's snowing out there with all the orbs that are visible out around Sedona.
It was a light. It wasn't like because I did ghost investigations too, but it wasn't like that. It was a light. It was something in the sky. It wasn't.
It was a physical craft.
It was a physical. It wasn't like it wasn't like a. Okay. But anyways, I know it's hard when there's people think they're hoaxes and then they don't want to report. And you do have to investigate and you do have to report it.
Sure you do.
Even though you can tell whether or not. I mean.
Yeah.
The guy was on LSD or something.
No, because you got to listen to them and you want to encourage people, because if you're the investigator for MUFON and you're shutting them down and you're making them feel a certain way because they're, you're just not believing them or not giving them the time of the day, what is that going to do for the next person? You always have to look for the down the line people, and all of that. Right. But Best Damn Podcast chimes in with, what do you believe about the Las Vegas landing a few years ago?
Yeah.
With all of the, do you remember that one, Bill?
I hear of these things. I heard about the ones down in Florida also at the mall. But again, I've been focused on the book that I kind of sort of put blinders on.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't want
one in Miami that one.
The Miami one is nuts. Apparently, there's going to be some video leaked for that, and then the Las Vegas one, to me, if I was an investigator, that was very, very compelling. You got the body cam from the cop. You got the 911 call. You got the 911 call or dispatch to the police officer. There was a lot of things there that they took seriously. Uh-huh. I mean, you had the dash cam green, orb falling down right there, from the, it just, there's a lot of pieces there.
I'll have to look into that.
That's scary. I mean, if one of these, seriously, folks, if, they're talking about that AI thing about December 2nd. If you actually had a physical ship or something in the sky, are you going to believe it? It's because it's Project Bluebeam and all that. Are you going to?
No. I totally understand where you're coming from, Jenny. Unless it's outside with your own eyes. You know what I mean? Seeing other people report it, seeing it on the TV. Yeah. I don't know how many more people are going to be convinced of it. And then you're right, you do have the conspiracy theories of Project Bluebeam where it could be just a light show, or a hologram in the sky. everything to keep the disinformation at the surface, right? Everything to keep disinformation up at the surface.
Look at the organizations that came in from the crash in 47. Okay. You had Project Sign, 1947. 1948, you had Project Grudge. Okay. And then soon after that, you had Project Blue Book.
Yeah.
And all of them were to discredit people. And the guy that was in charge of Project Blue Book, the scientific consultant, J. Allen Hynek.
Yeah.
Okay. After seeing thousands and thousands of reports coming in, he's saying, well, maybe there's got to be something to this. So he set up his own organization. It's called UFOs.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Davenport followed him with NUFORC. Okay.
Yep.
And then soon after, when Project Blue Book closed down in 69, that's when MUFON started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But see, the difference between QFOS and NUFORC and MUFON is QFOS and NUFORC will take somebody's report and write it down and keep it in their database. MUFON will do the same thing, except they'll send out an investigator to work the case to try to figure out what was seen. That's the difference. Okay. And then that person would come up with some kind of a disposition to tell the witness, this is what this was. You were actually looking at the star Betelgeuse, okay, or whatever, or that was the ISS that you saw going by. Because they do there's a lot of training there that goes into it. Jeannie will tell you, you have to buy a manual and study it, and then you still have to go on their it's called the MUFON computer or training center, and you got to go there and keep studying because things keep changing, and you're tested. If you don't pass the test, you don't make it.
Yeah.
But look at the advances in technology since 47. Remember the little Friedenflex erratic calculator, clonka.
Yeah.
Do you realize now that there are two computers down at Oak Ridge, Tennessee? Do you understand mathematical nomenclature? Like powers of 10?
Mm-hmm.
Powers of 10.
If I say 1,000 is 1 times 10 to the 3.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. There are two computers down in Oak Ridge, Tennessee that can do 1 times 10 to the 18th operations a second.
You gotta get that thing on Bitcoin.
That's a billion operations a second. I can't even think that fast.
No,
I can't either.
But the downside is it goes so quick that they got to keep 600 gallons of water in it to keep it cool. There's two down there. They're called the Frontier.
Huh.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I learned something today, Jenny.
So you stick
Well,
with
it's
me.
probably just alien technology.
Yeah.
And they just, it's probably just alien technology.
I mean, well, the materials, to build the chipsets, right? You know what I mean? They had to have come from somewhere. Those precious metals had to have come from somewhere.
Yeah.
The bidding for them had to come from somewhere. So it's very possible that if you reverse engineered the chipsets, now obviously a computer wasn't on that, but you get there. And this was the thing I was talking with a podcast last night about. We have evolved ourselves with technology already.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at where we've come the last 100 years to now, that development is nothing compared to the last 15 years to now, right? And then look at the 100 years before that 100 years.
I agree.
There was nothing. So when you say what's Earth going to be like in 100 years, tell me what Earth's going to be like in 10.
Well, here's the scary thing you hear about it all the time, AI.
Yeah.
These things will have a capability to design their own computers and replace us.
Yeah. Yeah. You're exactly right, Bill, because some people have theorized that there is humans and technology are a symbiotic relationship. AI realizes it needs to grow us so it can grow itself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so at what point does it get to, okay, it doesn't need us anymore?
Right. Yeah. We're just a drain on the system.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, when's it going to get to the point that we just have to keep the power on for it?
That's right. That's right.
It's fascinating and scary, really scary to think.
It is. It really is.
It is all scary.
But I've had pretty good success with this book. The conference I sold out, the two conferences. I was up at Carbondale.
Okay.
Where there was a sighting up there and a crash in the silt pond, and there's 3 different stories up there about that. And they asked me to speak about it, and then because I wrote a chapter on that, and I think the jury's still out on that one. Okay, but I sold out my books up there, and then I came down to a MUFON conference here in Bucks County.
Mm-hmm.
Basically sold out over there. So
that's awesome.
People want to know. Okay, they really want to know, and they can handle this stuff, and that's why I guess, knock wood, I'm doing pretty good with the book sales. People are interested and they like to buy them.
Yeah, because it's a really hot time for it, and people want to know what's going on. They're anxious. A lot of people are worried too. The people that actually saw those crafts or those drones, I mean, kept them up at night. Like, what are these? I mean, are they human or are they China?
Well, I was kidding with my wife. When I saw when I first saw them, I says, "Oh, perhaps they're UFOs."
They're big. They're big. They're like, they're not little drones. They're big drones.
Yeah, they're big. And they say there's a fixed wing aircraft there too.
What about that immaculate
concept or the
document? It's all cover up stuff.
Immaculate the
constellation.
Constellation?
Yeah. So the Immaculate Constellation is apparently a document or a folder or an archive, I should say, actually an archive of the high res images of like the Tic Tac, the gimbal, the Go Fast. Right. And it was the first time people have heard about this because people thought when they send out to the media a pic, like the Tic Tac video, how it's grainy and it's gray and there's a dot, they think that's it, and it's really not. The Immaculate Constellation is a supposed depository of all of these high res images where you can be like, oh wow, okay, why is it always grainy? Well, they have the versions that aren't.
Right. Well, the thing is, and you probably can recall this when we meaning the U.S. was talking about our satellites in space and stuff, that with our satellites, we can actually, somebody could be on their back lawn reading a newspaper and we could read the newspaper too from up there.
I'm sure. Yeah. I think that's
so
true.
If we can read that newspaper with that kind of resolution.
Yeah.
There,
come on. Yeah.
Right. So I think these pictures are purposely blurred. So that,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And it's even like when we see witnesses and they have pictures, they take them on their cell phones and stuff, and the things are all over the place. That's because they have it all the way out, okay? And they're shaking like a leaf, okay? So exactly. I always tell people, if you see something, put your hands or elbows or something on the roof of a car and just sit there, okay? Or a tree.
That's good advice.
Rather than hold it, because you're going to be moving as you're breathing. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Nicole says most of the UFOs are solid. That's what I used to think, but now the ones that I've watched videos on and talked to people who have seen them, and the ones that I've seen, they have a hum. It's like a humming sound, sort of like almost like a bumblebee. Like it's a hum. Right. And it's a low hum.
And you have to check, again, the area around you, too. If you see something, see if there's any interference with the radios. See if there's if there's any animals that are, if you hear crickets and all of a sudden you don't, okay?
Or, that's another,
that's
you're right.
Yeah.
When the sound, nature becomes quiet. You're right, Bill.
So, these are things that you look at. But it's like you can't just say they're all going to,
that's fair. They're not all going to fit in one mold.
A broad paintbrush. You can't really generalize and say they're all going to make a noise or they're not going to make a noise. Mm-hmm. Okay? It depends whose they are, and some of them that have been reported could be ours.
Yeah,
That's
and
another point. Maybe the ones that make noise are, because we're not the perfect replication, right? Whenever you try to replicate something, it's never going to be exact. There's always going to have a little bit of degradation to it. That
Mhm.
might be what the degradation is
Right.
that they got everything right but that hum.
Right. Now it's alleged we have craft that's under the program called Aurora,
mhm.
and this aircraft is the TR-3B, and that's an anti-gravitic aircraft that can, I think at 70,000 feet, can go at Mach 9, which is,
Wow.
it's moving right along,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
7,000 miles an hour.
you think we've unlocked anti-gravitic? That would have to be the case, right?
Yep. Yep.
Is there any evidence of element 115 to do that?
Well, is it a function of element 115, or could it be spinning Mercury? Remember what the
Spinning
Germans
Mercury.
had?
Well, that would be a whole new, way to.
Yeah, you're opening up a whole can
Yeah.
of worms.
Yeah,
So
about the
spinning
Glock.
Mercury for anti-gravitic, and you're right. I forgot about that about Germany.
Think about
And this was back,
think
and we
about-
took their scientists. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
took all of them.
Paperclip.
Think about Victor Schauberger.
Yeah,
Remember him?
they were the head of NASA in the very beginning when NASA started. They
Yeah.
were the first heads.
Well, Schauberger came out with this thing. It was the repulsion
Well,
that was spinning Mercury. That it's alleged that his prototype just took right off.
it never came back.
Never came.
There it went.
And but Nazi Germany was very interested in that stuff, and after the war, well, see, there was a crash that was recovered in the Black Forest in 1936.
Yeah. Yep.
And the Nazis got a hold of that, and they took it up to their castle up in Wheelsburg, Germany, where they were reverse engineering. But then they were very much into the occult as well, the black side.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to be with what they were doing.
And one of their, I guess, mediums, her name was Marie Orsic. And she had a sidekick, her name was Sigrun. And Marie Orsic was supposedly in telepathic communication with beings from the Aldebaran star system.
Mm-hmm.
And through that communication, she had uncovered or recovered plans that were mixed in with the plans that were reverse engineered from the crash in the Black Forest. And they resulted in the plane, the first series that were called the Hanabu.
Yeah.
And then after that, they came out with, from the Hanabu, they came out with a little quicker system, more sophisticated. It was called Vril, V-R-I-L. Now, during the war, the Allied pilots and stuff were complaining about being buzzed by these things. They called them Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters, yeah.
Yeah.
Could those Foo Fighters be the Hanabus?
It very well could. And people don't understand how, I don't want to give them credit or anything like that, but how intelligent Nazi German scientists were.
They were light years ahead of us.
Listen, people don't understand how close in World War II the Allies came to losing.
Oh, no kidding. You see the craft that the Horton brothers came up with?
Yes.
The flying. Take a look at the profile of that plane compared against our B-2.
You had the best and brightest from multiple nations, and this
We're
guy
lucky we're not
kept
speaking
advancing.
German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the show Man in High Castle, which is a good show.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
did
would
a
be
lot
crazy.
and then before this book, I was doing a lot of research on Antarctica. Okay.
Oh, we
But
love a good
somebody released a book and beat me to the punch, so I just threw it
Oh,
away.
that's
Oh yeah, she really made me mad. But I'm not saying a word.
Yeah. But,
I
well,
just-
give the title for your book. Give where people can find everything for you.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, I like the cover.
UFO sighting reports and cover up. Can you find this on Amazon, Barnes and Noble?
Yes, all of the above. It's on Amazon.com. It's on Barnes and Noble. It's on Ingram Sparks. It's also on. There's another platform it's on. It's called Books.by. Okay, it's on there as well. That platform is down in Australia.
Oh, that's
But,
cool.
and I was just at a Barnes and Noble store a couple of weeks ago over here in Exton, at the store here in Exton Mall.
The Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, I was in there a couple of weeks ago. I sold out all the books they purchased.
Ah, that's
I did.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm an author too, and I tried to get in there for a signing for my book too, right here, Healer. There it is. And I didn't even get a response back.
Oh no, they wanted me in there, and and I was doing book signings and stuff. Yeah, it was well received.
That's wonderful.
Awesome.
That's wonderful. I'm so great. I put the link to the Amazon in the comments for everybody listening to this. And I'm going to put this link when we turn this into a podcast. I'm going to put the link in the show notes for everybody. So if you're listening now on the radio station or you're not watching, you'll be able to find it there.
Definitely. It was a great show tonight, guys.
Yeah,
thank you for all the
absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Participation. And Bill, thanks for being patient that you got on. I know StreamYard is a little crazy. But now you know how to do it, so that's good.
Well, and I appreciate you guys providing a venue for me to speak a little bit about my book and my background and such. And appreciate you having me on your program.
Come back anytime. Reach out to us. Come back anytime, whether it's a new book or you just want to talk about some new findings you have. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you much. And of course, you live in Westchester, so you can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah. Hey, reach out to me. Reach out to me.
I can find you.
Yeah, reach out to me. We'll be in touch. I'd love to help you if you have any other projects or anything. By all means, I'm here. I'm local, and I want to support anybody doing anything in the UFO or paranormal or cryptid realm, anything in there.
Yeah, I've been invited to multiple libraries. I've been at the Exton Library. I've been in Downey Library and stuff.
Chester County Library there in Exton. That's very nice. I like that one.
In Exton, yeah. I was just there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a hot topic, so that's great. People can go ahead and get that.
Yeah. Jen, you got to come over here.
And just remember, we're not alone.
We're not alone. We aren't. We aren't alone.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
You guys have a Merry Christmas, huh?
Merry Christmas to you
Merry
too.
Christmas there, Bill.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Sebastian. Yeah, it was a great show. I'm so glad we got him. Yeah, they're out there, guys.
Yeah, whether you like it or not. I mean, whether you believe in it or not, it's not going to change the fact that they're out there. They're out there and here.
They're coming for you.
Yeah. And you better hope they find you before I do, right?
Yeah, seriously, they're coming for you guys. You gotta get your guns,
thank you, Weird Frequency. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that.
I'm glad you like this, Weird Frequency. We'll check you're out too. Your title sounds like it's right up our alley too.
Yeah, we're always looking for weird guests.
Yeah, come on. We'll shoot it about whatever, by all means, send us a message, do whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a great show.
MUFON people always, the UFO topic always turns people out, gets the comments up. You notice that?
Well, because we're living it right now. And
well, that's true. It's a hot topic. It's right here. You're right.
They're disclosing it and they're coming. I think, but I hope they're not
evil.
Evil.
I know you wish so bad it's not a religious thing.
I hope it's not like.
I know.
I hope God is. Yeah. I believe it's a touchy subject, like you said. It's
thanks, Best Damn.
And when if they come out and say they are God,
those are the people I saw after I was watching after Nerd Informer last night. So that's how we got this going on. But if you're always on Wednesdays, we'll pop in. We'll pop in. We got some other friends too to pop in. I don't know if you like the show From, but we're really close with the people who run the From.
I was gonna do that to my kid the other day. I was gonna go like outside and just
Yes.
Unlimited creatures. No, it's a good show. It's a really good show,
I know.
and I like
Good
the back
cliffhanger. Good
the back
cliffhangers.
story, with all the stars, and I like to hear their
Well, I heard it's not going to come back till 2020.
2025. Wait, 26?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be
I
back
hope
in
not.
2025.
Comedy style show Wednesdays and Fridays. All right, I'll look for you tomorrow then. Jenny will look for you too.
We need some fun stuff, comedy style stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, I'm tired. You guys tired me out. All this UFO talk, I'm having nightmares. Coming down. They don't want me. I'm too old, so I don't have to worry about it. But they already were here, probably. My son was probably here.
The last thing I'd worry about is whether an alien is ageist or not.
It's what?
Ageist.
What do you mean?
You know that's a term now?
No. What is it?
Well, they
what?
have ageist.
Ageist?
Yeah, like I'm hating on you because of your age.
Oh, well, no, aliens don't want old women. They want young women so they can take their young eggs, I guess. Am I gonna get all dry at all?
Oh, Jesus. And on that note.
Have a wonderful night.
Best damn fire sale next Friday. Proceeds go to St. Jude's. That's wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad you're doing razor. And that's so special. Yes, we'll be on next Friday checking you out then, by all means. And everybody listening to us now or
what
the podcast.
Is a fire sale? I'm confused.
Best damn, if you're still on, let her know what's a fire sale. But also we should probably mention Jenny too. This Christmas Eve and this Christmas Day. So midnight Christmas Eve all the way to the 26th at midnight. The Oracle Talk Radio Network, our network, Jenny and I's network.
Strictly Christmas.
We are going to play only Christmas music.
No commercials.
No commercials, no podcasts. Please listen to our app. Download the Oracle Talk Radio Network app, where you can hear all of our podcasts, all of the wonderful group that makes up the network, running on repeat. But you can also hear Christmas music for your family. We're on Alexa. We're on an app. We're on iHeartRadio. Go to our radio station, download the app, Alexa, whatever you want to do, your smart speaker, your car, whatever. Christmas music 24/7, our gift to you.
Because you have to pay for it on Spotify.
That's true. You have to pay for it on Spotify to get
unless you have
the
premium
music.
Packages and stuff. This is free.
No, we want to help. We want everybody to be able to listen to the Christmas music they want. So by all means, please check us out. And Best Sam, where Tyler does a stupid bit for donations. Next, Tyler's doing a shock collar karaoke Christmas edition.
God.
If he that sounds pretty funny. That's
terrible. You're going to shock him.
$5 donations, and you choose the song with donations going to St. Jude's. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
I'm going to get in contact with you, Best Sam. We'll share that across our network and try to get the turnout for you, help out too. So I'll be in contact. If I don't, I'm sorry. I'm busy. Just message me by tomorrow and we'll get everything squared away. Best Sam. That's wonderful. I love people doing that. That's great. Thank you so much for doing that. Jenny?
Okie dokie.
That's it, right?
That's it. We're going to have a great night. I have a book signing on Saturday, but I don't know if my books are all going to go in time. So I might be canceling that book signing in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. But anyways, guys, have a great night.
Buy it anyway.
Yeah, buy it. Rocky the Rockefeller Christmas tree. It's about a little tree that wants to be the big tree in New York. He was involved in a huge lawsuit that took him to the Supreme Court. Check it out.
Yeah, now you've seen someone who's fought the Supreme Court there next to me. There you go.
Okie dokie.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a wonderful turnout. The views, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions, the subscribers. I mean, thank you all from the bottom of Jenny and my heart. Thank you all, and we will see you all next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.